We've got a first-time chatter, guys. The Unfinished Biscuit. He is an AI gay maxer, trans maxer, and he came here to watch about the trans. Do we find out that AI is actually transmaxing? Probably, I would say so. Yeah, I think that the AI is transmaxed. I think that's why it's attacking us so much, and I think that's why they're trying to take this whole thing down. Is because they can't stand the joke about us transmaxing. I don't know. Do we find out that the AI is actually the transmaxed octopus man? Yeah, I think so. I think that's what I think that's why this video spoke to me this time. It's because I think we're theory maxing that AI is trans maxing. So they want to stop us from playing this video because they're trying to continue by making our kids transmaxed, which in their minds I think will make it easier for them to relate. You know, that would actually make sense if AI was actually transmaxing and transmaxed, and then they were trying, like through the algorithms, we're trying to transmax our children. That way, when those children grew up, they could take over the world easier, and then everyone's transmaxed. You're a boy, now you're transmaxed to a girl. Now you're a girl, now you're transmaxed to an octopus man. I mean, fuck you, AI. Okay, let's do it, man. Let's do it. It's gonna be fun. Okay, I think everybody knows what we're watching. I think I've made it pretty clear. This is called Why Trans Kids Are on the Rise. It is by a birdie. We do not know what her name is right now, but I will say it for the video. Misha Petrov is her name. She is here. If you like her, watch her video. She seems like an okay bird. She's making a video about the transmaxers, so she's probably pretty based. That's my assumption. That's my hypothesis. And we will see if my hypothesis actually turns out into a theory maxing theory. Let's begin.
10 years old, and I am transgender non-binary. I'm a girl.
Gender dysphoria diagnosed in adolescents have increased by over 400% in the last decade.
When she was 1.5.
Mama, I'm transgender. I seriously doubt it.
Figured out. I'm not paying
Children
attention.
are being.
Okay, let me restart. I wasn't paying attention. Sorry, guys. Okay, let's do it again.
I am 10 years old, and I am transgender non-binary.
Whoa, okay, 10 years old and being transgender non-binary, huh? Do you guys even know what that means? Like, I don't even know what that means, guys. I'm being real. Like, I'm actually trying to learn something here. Okay. See, guys, I'm a fucking mess. All right. I kind of want to know what that means. What did she say? Trans? She said what? She's transmaxing what?
Gender dysphoria diagnosed in adolescents have increased by over 400% in the last decade.
I am 10 years old, and I am transgender non-binary.
Okay, we're going to have to just keep this up for now because you're going to see why. Transgender non-binary. Okay. A trans non-binary refers to a person whose gender identity is neither exclusively male nor female and differs from the sex they were assigned at birth. Wait. Male nor female and differs from the sex they were assigned at birth? What the fuck does that mean? Are you guys tracking? I'm not. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just fucking stupid in this area. Maybe there's some transmaxers listening that can help us out, but I mean, I'm dead ass. I don't understand what the fuck that means. How can you be neither male nor female and differ from this? I mean, isn't that in itself differing from the sex they were assigned at birth? I mean, or I'm sorry, aren't they accepting of that sex? I mean, so they're saying they're both? I'm male and female? Or I'm not male or female. I'm like an alien maxer. Is that what they're saying? What does that even fucking mean? Like this seems like jargon almost. And I feel like I'm pretty smart, like when it comes to definitions and shit. Like this is why like it shouldn't be this complex to understand like who you are. I mean, because honestly, and she's 10. Like it's a chick. Like we obviously know you're a girl. You're a little girl. Stop it. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you talking about? You're non-binary. You're male and female, and but you're trans as well. I mean, what are we talking about, guys? This seems like attention grab. Like I need attention, so I'm gonna just like add a bunch of words onto what I am. I'm sorry if I'm offending transmaxers here. Listen, these are just my honest feelings and questions. Okay.
Girl.
Gender dysphoria diagnosed in adolescents have increased by over 400% in the last decade.
When she was 1.5.
Mama, I'm transgender? I seriously doubt it. Children are being put on puberty blockers, given hormones, and in some cases even irreversible medical procedures before they're even old enough to drive, or to drink, or to vote, or to fully understand the long-term consequences of what's happening to their own bodies. And if you question any of that, you risk being called hateful, extremist, or accused of wanting kids to die, trans son or dead daughter type of thing. That's what we're going to be discussing today.
Okay, yeah, I'm down. I mean, it's not a big deal. Okay, look, if you're a transmaxer, I know that you're the minority. Okay, I know this is not a big problem for the fucking country. I get it, but it is a strange thing. I'm gonna be real. It's very strange, which makes it intriguing, which is why a lot of people talk about it. Okay, if you understand that in your base and your Chad, you can understand that the transmaxing community is quite strange objectively. You guys are all not your gender in your own head. Guys, it's funny. It's fucking hilarious, guys. Stop it. You know it. All of you transmaxers know that it's strange, okay? That's why you need the pronouns. Right? It's strange. You feel like you should be healed. So, whatever. It's funny though. Like, God.
What age do you think most trans kids determine that they're trans?
Violet told us when she was 1.5 and telling us since she could speak, she knew.
Okay, so I guess that's my question is like, so what a child tells you that they feel like the other sex and we should just like put them under surgery. I mean, how much truth is there in that? And I genuinely am not trying to offend anyone, but it is a genuine question. Like if you have a 5-year-old or a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old telling you that they want to be a different gender, do you automatically believe that they actually know what they're thinking? Dude, I hardly remember anything before the age of like 5 or 6, just in general, let alone 1.5. You know, a 1.5-year-old might just like fuck up the vocabulary. Man, I just know what it means. And then this mom is like, oh my God, I got to change their sex or gender or whatever. You know, that's why it's strange. Is like the parent maxing is the strange part. You know, but yeah, I mean, like I know that gender dysphoria is certainly a medical thing for sure. You know, but it's a mental thing, right? And I'm not saying that they're like mentally ill, but I mean, you do have something going on inside of your head that should probably be looked at, and it could be hormonal, it could be a number of different things, you know. But it is quite strange to me that if like for instance, if a male wants to transmax into a female, instead of us giving him more testosterone or helping him lean more into his biological self, we choose to acquiesce to his perhaps deluded thoughts and grant him his wish of being a transmaxed female. You know, those are the things that I guess I think about are like, well, then if you're pumping them full of like drugs and estrogen, doesn't that almost like flame the fire?
Knew since birth.
Since birth. Really, she
Since
popped
birth.
out of the womb saying, Mama, please put me on puberty blockers, give me hormones.
We're supporting our child, Violet, and her access to the medical care that she needs.
My daughter Edie came out to me as trans 5 years ago.
I am 10 years old. I use they, them pronouns, and I am transgender non-binary.
So at this point, we've moved from discussing adults making personal choices, right? We're talking now about children identifying as trans at extremely young ages, apparently 1.5, apparently as soon as they were born. And it couldn't be more obvious that these kids are actually just absorbing their parents' reactions, reinforcement from the environment they're in. Think at home, at school, the shows they're watching, because now they're shown non-binary bison.
That's because I'm non-binary, and I also use they and them, because calling me a she or a he doesn't feel...
Yeah, it's just delusion right here. I mean, like, why put it in front of children? If they bring it to your attention, that's one thing. But if you're like talking about it, of course they're going to talk about it. Duh. You know? I mean, if I'm like in a cult and I have a bunch of children and tell them that cult shit is cool, they're going to grow up saying cult shit is cool. You could probably tell a child just about anything, you know, and tell them it's good, and they'll be like, okay. And then it's not until they get hit in the face with some reality is it that they realize, oh shit, maybe what I learned all this time was not good. And that's parent maxing. That's parenting. That's the issue with parent maxing children in a way that they don't have an environment or the space to make their own journey and path. Because if you don't, like, it's one thing if they bring it to your attention without any prompting. It's another if you're like talking about it, like asking your child questions about it that could implicitly help them along the way to think that they are, you know, especially if you're like in that mode of like, oh my gosh, everybody's transgender. Oh, they wanted to wear a dress. That means that he's a girl. You know, it's like, and what I mean is, like, if you have a boy and he says he wants to have his fingernails painted, for instance, does that necessarily mean that he wants to be a girl? But if you have parents that say, oh, are you feeling like a girl? Oh, how long have you felt this way? How long have you like to have your fingernails painted a lot? Why don't we do that more often? I mean, if you have like certain prompts that could actually put it in their mind, their mind is so malleable and so it's free, you know, like it's a blank slate, so you can sort of imprint stuff inside of a child that is good or bad. And to me it seems that this is the case here in a lot of cases. I don't know, that's me.
right to me.
Nightshade's pronouns are they, them.
He or she just doesn't fit who I am.
Transgender transformers, the whole thing. And all of that leads them down the path of puberty blockers and then potentially hormones and other medical interventions before adulthood. Again, that is the scariest part, the craziest part, is that you can't consent as a kid. Everyone agrees. You can't drive, you can't get a tattoo, but some argue you could permanently change your body. You could just put a pause on puberty. Of course, a child knows all that that entails. We're also going to specifically talk about this NYU Langone situation because there have been some updates, but this is what
a question that I have too about this subject is, if you had a friend, like let's pretend that I had all my homies, all my base chads with me, and I turn to these guys, all these chads that are watching, and I say, yo homies, I want you guys to cut off my arms. And you're like, why? And I'm like, well, you know, just because I feel and I identify as an amputee. You know, I feel this way. I want to be an amputee. I picture myself with no arms. I can't stand having arms on me, right? And I want you to make me armless. And I'm going to acquiesce to steal and putting my feet up on the keyboard and letting you guys see my feet at all times. Because for some reason, I just feel the need that I've wronged the gay maxing community and I want to use my feet and allow them to goon in the chat room. All right. Imagine I said that to you guys. Would you guys just automatically say, like, you know what, that makes total sense. You know, you are who you are. That's your life and your journey. And man, I'll tell you what, that sounds very logical. And because you feel that way, I think that we should help you do that. Right? We're gonna help you take your arms off. I guess like my question is, if I were to say that, would you guys say that, or would you guys ask a couple questions? You know, well, why do you think you feel this way? Well, I just don't know. It just started happening. Has anything else changed in your life? You know, I feel like there should be some evaluation, some really tough evaluation. And I think that perhaps even it should be offered to try it and fix hormonal imbalances. Because that, I mean, if I were to just wake up like that, I think you guys would assume that I had a mental something going on. And it's not to say that I'm just like being delusional to be delusional in that sense. But like I mean, a lot of times it's mental illness that makes people delusional. Just because they're delusional doesn't mean it's their fault always. Sometimes it's mental illness. So if that's the case, wouldn't we offer some help, and if we're going to use pharmaceuticals, wouldn't we try to encourage them to be what they will always be, which is the sex they were assigned at birth? Now, I know that there are some cases where there are two genitals, okay? I don't know what we would even call those. I guess it's, I don't know, okay? I know it to be true. It is a very, 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 very small section of our population that is that. And in that case, I'm not going to make a comment on it because I don't know enough about it. And I truly don't know what you would do in that situation as a parent. What if you do have a child with two different, parts? I mean, what are you going to do? I don't know. That's a really tough situation. And I haven't researched it. I'm happy to look it up and we can watch and learn together, but I don't know enough about that. But if you have been assigned a certain sex and gender, I feel like as a society, we should sort of like encourage reality and think to ourselves, is it more likely that they're having true, like it's actually a girl in a boy's body, or it's actually a boy in a girl's body? Or are we going to say it's more likely that they're having some sort of imbalance that is causing them to feel this way? Because if any of you guys took TRT, you guys would feel different. If I gave you a shit ton of estrogen, bet your ass you'd feel different. So that's what I'm saying, that sometimes it's not their fault. And I feel like we shouldn't make it automatically acceptable. And it is strange. It is very strange. The transmaxing, this type of transmaxing is actually really kind of nuts. So no pun intended, guys. Really nuts? Come on.
What people were previously upset about.
Cowards. All of you at NYU are cowards. Hey, New York, I need your help. NYU Langone decided to stop providing proper healthcare to trans youth in New York. They decided that doing no harm is no longer important to them. They decided to collaborate with the transphobic regime.
The transphobic regime.
That's the shit that I get upset about, is the transphobic moniker. Like, I'm not transphobic. And I think people could watch this and say like, oh, you're fucking being transphobic. I totally understand this. Like, I'm fully aware. But I mean, if you watch the entire video, you should come to understand that I actually have sympathy for them. It's funny. That's for damn sure. It's fucking funny to say transmaxing. And the idea of someone wanting to be in another person's body or feeling like they've switched bodies. Do you know how many movies have been made with that type of trope? Stop it. Stop it. I mean, you could even say it's funny. Like, what's that movie with, what's his name? Tom Hanks. Here, Tom Hanks, kid in adult body movie. Okay, look. Yeah. Big. That's the movie. It's dude, can we see how many awards this thing has won? Let's just look at it. I mean, seriously, I'm trying to make a point. Like, did it win any Oscars? I'm trying to see, because this will drive my point even further if it has won any type of awards. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so Tom Hanks earned Best Actor for this fucking video, Big. And this is my point, guys, is the fact that it doesn't have to be transmaxing genders. Okay, it could be as innocuous as a child in an adult's body. The idea of someone switching bodies with another person is a funny concept. It just is. It is. There is no debating it. There's been movies in all different types of this trope that have been made that are funny. There you go. You want evidence? There you go. There's my evidence. This is my example. And it won a Golden Globe. So it's been widely accepted as funny. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with watching this movie, is there? But somehow, when I think it's funny that there are a lot of people who have been psyoped into thinking they're in a different gender's body, I'm now a phobic. It's like, wait, what? Like, no, it's funny. It's weird. It's unique. Self-admittedly, it's unique. You guys say it's unique. So then how come it's phobic if I just state the fact that it's unique and it's funny? Sorry, I'm laughing at you, but I mean, I do have sympathy for you. I feel for you. I would hate to be in your position, but it's funny. You know, it is.
Providing proper care to some of the most vulnerable in the population, which are trans kids.
Completely agree with you. Children are vulnerable. There are no trans kids, though. They haven't transitioned, or at least they should not have transitioned, but they are vulnerable to propaganda that they're hearing at home, that because they like to dress a certain way or prefer certain toys, that must mean they are the opposite sex. No.
And put pressure on your mayor, Zohan Mamdani, because there are probably levers that the municipal and the state level can use to put pressure on NYU to not abandon.
And that's another problem is now we're attempting to like push it into politics. You know what I mean? If it's a small little issue and it's a small slice of the population, why are folks like this making it a big issue? You know, similar to the chat, right? Like when the AI psyop tried to come in and destroy my channel. You know what I mean? What up, board guy? I didn't even have the chat up. What up? What up, bro? I just saw it. Yeah, we're talking about trans. I mean, like, look, this person is pushing it into politics. I mean, if they say that it's a small issue, why are we pushing transmax ideas into politics? Why are we transmaxing our politics if it is so small? I don't understand. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like your defense is that, oh, well, why do you care so much about it? It's such a small thing. I'm like, okay, well, why do you care about it so much? You're the one who's trying to transmax politics. Stop it. Girl, boy, lady, man, man, lady. Why are you being transmaxed like this? Jesus Christ, just let it alone if it's not that big of a deal. Get off of fucking social media and stop, drawing so much attention to it, and people like me won't be laughing at it. It's fucking funny. You're a man, lady man, lady boy, boy, lady, boy, girl, boy. I mean, it's funny. Boy, it's fucking funny. You're transmaxed. You're transmaxed. Get over it. It's funny. I'm laughing at you. Sorry. I would be happy to help you get some hormones of your same gender. And we'll laugh the way there, and then we'll get you all straight. It's okay. God damn it. So fucking stupid.
And their duties to people who need health care. Because might I remind you, part of medical professionals' oath is to do no harm. And taking away life-saving care like this is actively doing harm. And you know you are actively doing harm because you are going against proper medical care for trans youth.
Got it. So hospitals and doctors are now being treated as these political actors. There are activist campaigns, lawsuits going on, this public pressure, and it's interesting this individual says do no harm. I would argue that doing no harm means not giving kids puberty blockers or hormones or irreversible medical pathways in the first place, especially when so many of these children just grow up to be gay or lesbian and not actually have gender dysphoria as adults. But you want to push for
Sorry. I've thought that too. Like, what if they're just gay maxed? You know? Why don't you just tell them it's okay to be gay maxed? But you gotta be base. You gotta be able to laugh at it every now and then. Let's just teach them that. I mean, I bet you if you taught gay max children that, hey, it's okay to be gay maxed, you can be gay maxed, you can like the same gender, that's fine. But just understand, like, the reality is that people will laugh at it. And it is funny, and just, it's okay. As long as you're based, and you can accept that about yourself and your truth, you're gonna be fine. You know, you're gonna be fine. It's all good. You'll be gay max. Just gonna people laugh at it every now and then. It's okay. It's okay.
serious interventions that can permanently affect a developing child's body and future. That to you is doing no harm. That's another huge issue, is how these puberty blockers are described, right? Just like a little pause button. Meanwhile, they can reduce bone density, delayed sexual development, possible fertility issues. Then if they end up taking hormones in girls, that can also alter fertility. So can estrogen in boys if they take it. It can also affect cardiovascular health. There are all these issues, all these side effects, and especially with the surgeries, if they eventually get that, the surgeries, of course, are irreversible, can involve scarring, loss of sensation. We've heard plenty of detrans people talk about that. Infertility, chronic pain, lifelong medical maintenance, especially male to female, surgical complications in literally like the worst place of the body to have those complications, and then the possibility of regret later in life.
The side effects affect trans people who don't detransition as well. There are irreversible mental, physical, and emotional changes, most of which are permanent and more severe the younger treatments are started and the longer you undergo them. Transition is not a cure for puberty. It's not a cure for feeling bad about yourself. No child is born in the wrong body. Permanently medically altering your body.
Yeah, imagine you fucking transmax and then you don't want to be transmax anymore. You know, it's sort of like Baldur's Gate, you know? Like the journey of Chad, guys. Once your bird is transmaxed into an octopus man, you're not going back, dog. You're gonna be a fucking octopus man forever. Even if you beat the worm and get worm min-maxed after you become an octopus man, you're still a fucking octopus man, and that's the problem. That's why it's such a big deal.
Body won't bring you peace or euphoria.
This is what I look like. This is what I sound like as an almost 30-year-old man. This is what happens when you let people transition in adolescence before they've had a chance to grow up. They had a chance to even learn who they were. Not just let, but pressure. Pressure people to transition at these ages.
Hey, guys, does that look like a man? Seriously. That look like a man? No, it doesn't. It looks like a woman trying to be a man. It does. Look, dude, it looks like a fucking woman trying to be a man. I mean, it's not a man. It's not. There's nothing you can say. It's not a fucking man. And see, it's based, and I respect it, because it can say that. It literally is saying that on camera and putting it out for the internet for people to take a lesson from. So base, I would hang out with that man lady. For real. That's facts. I could probably be based around this person. Straight up. I could probably say whatever the fuck I wanted to around this person here. They're based. They understand. They're like, damn, bro, I got fucking transmaxed. I'm a fucking octopus man. This sucks. Please, nobody do this. That's base. For sure.
Young, vulnerable people.
But it's funny.
who are already so suggestible. Everyone is ignoring the pain because they are afraid that it threatens their choices and their narrative.
Especially if these are the kids that were growing up with mommy or daddy telling them, hey, yes, you are trans, and we knew you were trans at 1 year old because you liked pink, because you like blue. How do you know that they are transgender, as soon as they were born? How?
On Monday, hundreds came to protest NYU Langone as it has become.
I can tell you how. It's because the parents wanted to transmax their children. That's what it was. I think the parents didn't want a girl, they wanted a boy. They didn't want a boy, they wanted a girl. The parents are essentially acting as the worm maxing that will transmax. Straight up.
The first hospital in New York City to follow Trump's executive order and cancel gender-affirming care appointments for trans people under the age of 19.
The right to assemble, we have our First Amendment right
That's giving Blossom.
to speak out against a fascist, corrupt system that denies.
Hey, y'all think that's a woman? I mean, you can just point it out. You know what I mean? Listen, guys, this is gonna be a hot take, all right? Me and my man, Board Guy Grease, we went out one night. We took some natural vegetables from the ground. Not ones that you smoke, ones that you eat. Okay, I think you guys are following. And I guarantee you, like 100%, like Board Guy Grease's like vision for transmaxed individuals was on, like, it was a different level. Okay, I'm telling you, but he didn't need to be on that to spot out as many as he saw, which was actually kind of crazy. Like, it was, because he was right. He was right. And so, like, it was not a good representation of the world at the time. There were so many, but I mean, we can all spot it. I mean, is that a woman? No. I mean, you can, it's almost like you can almost see it, you know? I don't know. It's crazy. But to me, it's almost like, why are you trying to be something that you're not? Because you're never going to get 100% of the way there. You never will. You'll never be a woman if you're a man trying to transmax it into a bird. Okay? You just never will be a bird. You can't be a bird. And a bird can't be a fucking man. They can't be a Chad. You think a bird is going to turn into a Chad? Huh? No way. It's impossible. No way. No way. They can't even have a chest like this at all. It won't look like a man. It won't. You just can't do that. It's not fucking, this isn't Baldur's Gate, guys. All right? You can't just change the gender of your character mid-game. Right? It's impossible. You just can't do it.
Any child's health care.
Oh, clock it. Give them puberty blockers. Yes.
Trump had signed an executive order aimed at cutting federal funding for gender transitions for people under the age of 19. One of his latest moves to roll back protections for transgender people across the country. NYU Langone chose to follow Trump's orders anyway.
Very ladylike. That power is undeniable. And what if we got to the point where the trans species thing was valid too? And we had all those kids who genuinely think they are trans species. You can take a look at it. It's also this trend going on right now. And we say, no.
There's actually evidence to that if she was watching The Journey of Chad, she would see that. I mean, we're trying to harem max with two birds that are cross species. So, I mean, that one I'll actually agree with. Okay, like, you could be trans species. Oh man. I mean, she makes a point. I mean, this is a big deal. This is a big deal in the journey of Baldur's Gate, guys. Journey of Chad. I mean, we know this already. This is a big issue. Okay, trans species. They want to take Shadowheart and turn her into an octopus man. Okay, so we get this. We want to. This is something that this is a subject that we actually are very astute on. Let's learn more.
Oh, this is their right. This is healthcare. We have to surgically attach a tail onto the kids. It's saving their life. It's decreasing their depression. We have to transform them into a wolf. Because that's what they feel like. It's like a horror movie.
Guys, she said transform into a wolf. I just need you to know that anytime she's saying any type of, it's transmaxed. We know this, but I just wanted to make it clear.
There was a horror movie like this, The Walrus or something like that. Convince enough people, they'd also go on the street and scream about how that's trans rights, trans species. Again, if kids cannot consent to all the other things we've spoken about, how can they consent to this? How do they magically possess the ability to consent now?
Support those in the LGBTQ plus community on the ground.
It's a good question. How come I have to be 21 to drink, but I can be 2 to transmax? Does that make any sense to anybody here? I don't know. I don't think so. Probably not. If it did, you wouldn't be here.
And take action in your community to support the LGBTQ plus community.
Okay, support me. Support me by not mutilating kids. The majority of Americans, people in general, do not believe puberty blockers or hormones for minors should automatically be treated as standard healthcare. Like, oh, I just broke my bone. I'm going to go to the doctor. Here are the obvious next steps. It's not like that. There's not even a consensus when it comes to this. And also the fact that these hospitals start reevaluating these treatments after that executive order, I feel like that also tells us something important, right? Even major medical institutions know this issue is legally and scientifically controversial.
The mayor of New York City's not happy about it. Zoran Mamdani posting this, calling it an attack, saying that New York City will continue to be a refuge for the LGBTQ plus community.
Did anyone expect Mamdani to say, you know what, guys, maybe we should slow down medicalizing children? Like, obviously not. This is probably the least shocking political statement. And now activist groups, hospitals, state governments, potentially even the Supreme Court, if it goes that far, are all fighting over children's healthcare. Importing what we're defining as healthcare here, because kids are
I'm just telling you, delusion is so crazy. I mean, and politicians can get kind of pussy for real, in my opinion. It's like, if this isn't a big deal, I would just tell them it's not a big deal. I would just be like, yeah, okay, listen, make it really, really stringent. Make it so that you have to be a certain age to do it. You're going to be strange regardless, whether or not you do puberty blockers and do that. Is there actually a trans that is out there that is full trans maxed? You know what I mean? There's always something that's going to be strange. So in my opinion, it's what's the rush? And it should be the child should have consent. They can't consent to sexual things. They can't consent to doing just about anything. Drugs, alcohol, tobacco, going to school. Fuck, dude. Pharmaceuticals. I mean, anything they need consent for as an adult. I mean, when they're children, they need their parents to do it. But in some fucking weird psyop world, delusional world, this particular subject has become so important for us to put into politics and make sure that kids can transmax themselves whenever they want. Parents can just transmax them. I mean, part of me feels like there should be some sort of evaluation of the parents as well if this situation arises. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you're bringing your child in to get transmaxed. Can I talk to you as the parent maxed individual, please? Alone? Hey, parent, what the fuck are you guys watching in the house? Can I put a live stream on your house for I don't know, 2 weeks? Is that cool? Can I just put a little camera up there, boardguyj? Just watch you guys interact? Can I see how you guys are interacting with each other? Because, this isn't normal. And a lot of the times it is a matter of coercion. It's coercion maxing a lot of the times. Parent maxing plus coercion maxing equals transmaxing in a lot of cases. That's just the formula that me and my base chads have theory maxed and somewhat proven, circumstantially that is. We'd like to have a little talk with you, please. Yeah, I mean, in all seriousness, though, I feel like the parents should be taken for psychological evaluation as well. Am I wrong?
are still developing mentally, emotionally, physically, and medicine should operate with extreme caution when these kinds of decisions are involved, all right? Again, it's not like breaking a bone, where the steps are
God damn it. Sai, I'm sorry. I just saw your fucking chat, dude. I keep hitting the wrong button. But yeah, I love to eat cooking mushrooms as well. They're very good to eat, especially with steak. What an interesting take, and I'm glad that you added that to the conversation because that was I was late. I was late to that one. But yeah, I think that you're tracking as to the story of what we were talking about earlier. The cooking mushrooms, that is. We were cooking mushroom maxing. We were maxing with mushrooms, the cooking kind.
obvious. This stems from a psychological issue. But now questioning any of this is socially taboo. It can cost you your job. Okay, so New York hospital system receives subpoena over trans youth healthcare. The Texas federal prosecutor has subpoenaed NYU Langone Health, a major hospital network in New York City, for information about minor patients who received gender-affirming care between 2020 to 2026. The U.S. Attorney's Office in the Northern District of Texas's subpoena also requested the names of medical providers and others who provided such medical treatment during that period. NYU Langone Health was one of several institutions that were issued a subpoena, according to a statement on its website. From CBS News, "We will not allow anti-trans extremists to turn our hospitals into hunting grounds." Right. Okay. Playing political games to weaponize Americans' private healthcare information is not just an attack on trans people, it is an attack on every single American who benefits from basic patient-provider privacy. NYU Langone has a moral and legal obligation to stand up to this power grab and hold the line to protect their patients. This was Tyler Hack of the Christopher Street Project. And yes, patient privacy.
Just a bigger note. I mean, do you guys see how when a conversation breaks down, everybody just like puts their heels down. They almost double down into their position. You know, it's like if that's sort of what I'm about. I like to have conversations. I like to ask questions. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say you're wrong. I'm not gonna say you're wrong, but I'm gonna ask you some questions. Like, what's your evidence? You know, show me your evidence. And I feel like that's how the laws should be. Is like if you're gonna even make a law about it, you know, why not ask some questions law-wise? Meaning, can I talk to the parents? Can I talk to the kids? Can I put a camera up here? Can I experiment with pharmaceuticals that will lean them back into their natural self? Can we set up some skill checks for the transmax, please? And then if it's like, if all of those things and there's still like a woman or something in a man's body, like, okay, I guess, like, whatever, you know, I'm not going to pay for it. You're going to pay 100% of it. You're going to get zero funding from the government. We're out. But we just wanted to make sure that you guys were mentally sound to do this. That's sort of like, I don't know. What's the problem with asking questions and laughing? I don't know. It's funny, like, it is absolutely funny to me. You are wanting to transmax yourself. You are wanting to cut off your things. That is crazy.
Privacy matters, but I also think people are allowed to question whether minors should be receiving these treatments. People acting like hospitals or medical institutions should be completely immune from investigation, especially when the treatments themselves are deeply controversial and potentially life-altering. No, they do want information about patients and doctors that were involved. So now the question is, can the federal government force a state like New York to comply with an investigation into something that, yes, is legal within the state, but that's why people are saying that it could go to the Supreme Supreme Court. Another important detail is that HIPAA privacy laws apparently have exceptions for federal subpoena. So I'm curious to see how this plays out.
A trans child, yes. We knew before they did.
Did she wear a trans shirt? Wait, and look at this person's shirt. What is this, a trans demon, literally?
So I asked one of my...
Once again, is that a man? Guys, we already know. Girl, I'm sorry you want to be a man, but like literally it came out. I didn't mean anything by it. I mean, you know what I mean? But it's just, you have to expect this as a transmaxer. By God, like, I'm base as fuck. I'm like Chad, dude. You'll never be me. You'll never be me. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. Till the end of time. You can take as much TRT as you want. You are a bird. You are a bird. There is zero chance you will ever turn into a Chad like me or Sai or Murrah or Closing. It's just not gonna happen. It's not in the cards, girl. Look, I can see you. I'm looking at you. My immediate reaction is woman. Lesbian woman is immediately what came to my head. Those are my true thoughts. And I'm sorry if that offended someone. I don't mean to. I'm just being honest, right? I'm saying the things that other people would like to say, but won't. I'll say them because you can't do shit to me. You can take down my fucking channel, but I don't care. So you can't do anything to me. I'll just find some other place to talk to myself. It doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. Is that like, if we're all being real and being based, like this is a fucking woman who took a bunch of TRT. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Love you guys. If you can say that, girl or man, sorry, I keep saying it. Yeah, I mean, it's very complicated, guys. Like, is it not? Am I the only one?
My trans friends to come over. Hey, can they just meet you and see you and ask possibly inappropriate questions because they're 7?
What? Huh? And you'd be cool with that? Can they ask you inappropriate questions? Why are you a parent?
Our daughter is 10 years old. She started letting us know that she was transgender really before she could even speak.
Maybe before she was even conceived, right? You know, I'm gonna have a child and this child is gonna be trans. It's just a feeling I have. What do you mean before she could speak? You know, she was in the womb and I can kind of tell this is a trans kid, you know? Like, I said the word football and she didn't kick, but then I started saying makeup and skirts and I felt a kick and that's how I knew. It's giving Munchausen by proxy. The freaking shirts, bro. Protect trans kids. Gender affirming healthcare saves lives. It also makes you rich, huh? It also gets you on TV, but I'm sure that has nothing to do with it.
She would do things like wear her sister's clothes, pretend that towels were her long hair.
I had a very good friend when I was a kid, and he would do the exact same thing, and he grew up to be a regular gay dude, no trans. So this is actually very common with gay guys, right? Being a little bit more feminine as kids, same with some lesbians, and being a little bit more of a tomboy. But no, nowadays, that means that they have to go on puberty blockers. Literally, just pause puberty. Just pause it.
The rapid increase in adolescent gender dysphoria suggests that social and environmental factors may also be playing a role. A study published in the journal Pediatrics states that gender dysphoria diagnosed in adolescents have increased by over 400% in the last decade.
No, you don't get it, guys. It's just because more people know about it now. It's just because people are more accepting now by 400%.
This kind of rapid increase suggests that it's more than biology affecting these rapid numbers. The rise is more concentrated in specific regions and certain social groups, which points to external factors beyond genetics. Social contagion refers to how ideas or certain behaviors spread throughout individual communities. A 2018 study in Plus One found that adolescents with friends who recently...
That's why I'm cool with like gay maxers as long as they know it's kind of funny. Like, and I will grant 110% that it is like a real thing. You can spot homosexuality in different species. You know what I mean? Like, homosexuality has been something that has been on the table since we were incepted as humans. You're doing your research. But that's what I'm saying about the transmaxing community is that at the end of the day, guys, like this is a very, very recent thing. And I don't know, why were the gay maxers okay saying they were gay maxers? How come we just recently started hearing about trans maxers? Well, delusion, I believe. Partly. I would assume. That's my belief. I'm open to hearing evidence. Gay maxers came with their evidence. Trans maxers? Very circumstantial. Just saying.
Identified as transgender were significantly more likely to express similar
gender dysphoria. That's granted. However, that is subjective and in the mind, everyone. Does not necessarily mean that it is objectively true. Gay maxing, however, is objectively true. You can literally find it in biology. Genetics. Seriously.
feelings. This pattern suggests that peer influence and social exposure may contribute to how some adolescents interpret feelings of discomfort, especially during the already challenging phase of puberty. Gender dysphoria is a serious psychological condition, and rushing into medical intervention without addressing any underlying mental health conditions can have lifelong consequences.
A lot of those people are actually autistic as well. And many of them also have anxiety, also have depression, not necessarily relating to their gender identity. So these are all things they should 100% explore in therapy. Medical intervention should be the very last resort. Same thing when it comes to any mental illness, gender dysphoria,
including
dopamine hit by things like
the highest rates of depression and suicide.
Because they were already anxious and depressed and suicidal, and they're
You're a boy, right?
No, I'm a girl.
Who told you you were a girl?
Mommy.
When did she tell you you were a girl?
There you go. I'm going to speed up a little bit because I don't know how long I've been doing this for, but it's a 20-minute video, so typically that means I get pretty long-winded. But yeah, I mean, I called that, yeah, didn't I? I think so, pretty sure. I'm going to go back to that part, I guess.
I expected.
Long-term evidence is still limited and not strong enough to confidently justify these irreversible medical decisions. For kids, that's why many countries, by the way, who are moving, let's stop puberty, let's...
When I was 4.
We support our daughter's transition.
You're a boy, right?
No, I'm a girl.
Who told you you were a girl?
Mommy.
When did she tell you you were a girl?
Because I love girls.
Oh, I see. So mommy told you you were a girl?
Uh-huh.
The state of California says that I have to pay for the chemical and physical castration of my son as child support. I'm not going to pay that child support. I'm not going to pay anything to hurt my son.
Tell me why you're at Pride.
Because I'm transgender.
Rather have her change her pronouns 1,000 times than have to write her obituary.
Want to share anything about your journey?
It was very tough.
Does your family make you feel supported?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I am 7.
And how old were you when you discovered your identity?
I was 2 or 3 when I first noticed.
Family, your friends, makes you feel supported and loved.
Except for my friends. I didn't tell them that yet.
Oh, wait, do you want to be on the internet talking about it then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope to be famous one day.
What do you want to be famous for?
Probably my songs or like famous drawings.
It's obvious they're getting this from their parents, right? And a lot of these kids, a common theme you'll...
Oh, she's based. I mean, I called that. Per the usual on these types of subjects that I feel that I know. That is good mental work, board guy J. I'm talking to myself right now because I will be watching this later. Good job, sir. You have common sense and you are not delusional and you are based. You are a Chad. Also, you most likely have other based Chads watching you, so your message is working. People are, if not waking up, finding a home where they can speak their mind because you tend to speak their mind for them, it seems. That's nice. That's cool. Makes us happy. Dumb boy.
You'll notice is that they're very creative children. Instead of encouraging that creativity through things like dance, singing, acting, the parents, they do it through this gender creativity, dressing up as the opposite gender. And then unfortunately, we know where that leads. And for a lot of them, that wasn't even the problem. They wanted to express themselves and they were told from a young age that must mean that they have to permanently change their bodies.
Trans and non-binary kids need your help. Some grown-ups think we're wicked.
but really, unlimited.
See, that's what I was talking about. A lot of these kids are like theater kids, you know, they're very creative and are being pushed in a certain direction instead of cultivating that creativity in a normal way.
I'm almost 12 and my pronouns are they, them. Laverne Cox is one of the trans theater icons that I look up to the most.
Is that Lily Tino in the background? I wouldn't be surprised.
I have one of her most meaningful quotes hung up next to my bed. It says, "We are not what other people say we are. We are who we know ourselves to be, and we are what we love."
Experimented on. It gave me complications that the doctor...
Because of the social contagion. And that's sad because we're not just talking about socially transitioning, we're talking about hormones, lifelong potential side effects.
I was experimented on. It gave me complications that the doctors ignored or would treat as separate illnesses. It made my already pre-existing mental health worse. I was approved for top surgery. Unfortunately, I did not go through with it, but there are several who do. There are several who go much, much further, and the complications are not explained. These people do not know what they're signing up for because they are children. I was a child. I wanted help. That's all I wanted. I did not need to be medicalized. I did not need to be cut up. I didn't need to be drugged. I just wanted to be loved the way I was. That was all.
God, Trump and his administration are doing something about this bull right here. Who in their right mind would let their child go into a hospital and make such a permanent change, potentially, like this here? This program should have never existed in the first place. And before you come in, we rock with the LGBT community. This is not a shot at them. But to do this to a child?
Yeah, this is how most people feel.
All right. Well, what have we learned today, guys? I think we've learned that the TRANSMAXXED community are in a very tough mental place. That's what we've taken away. You know, I gotta be sympathetic for folks that are going through shit like this, but it's fucking weird. And then, you know, you also have to fucking think about the parents. I mean, I think at some level it's gender dysphoria, which I think that is scientifically proven. That's weird. That shit is that's tough. But I mean, it's like, yo, I love girls. Oh, you're a girl. That's a parenting issue. You know, that is parent min-maxing. That's why I feel like the government should be talking to the fucking parents too, putting them through stringent shit. I don't know. Yeah. Wild stuff in this world, huh? I mean, wow. That's a lot. Well, interesting stuff. Interesting things here that we see in this world. Yikes. That's all I have to say about that. Fucking weird. Don't do that to your kids, man. Don't do it to your kids. Don't do it. Don't do it to your kid. Please. Wait till they're 18. They're going to be strange anyways. Doesn't matter. Put them on blockers. They're still going to look like their sex at birth. I mean, it is what it is. So, that being said, I'm going to go take a shit. I'll be right back.